both sides. We do both sides through. But otherwise, we are back good to put lines on.
You're now watching the 2025 season of Farming with Duffy Ag.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. So, yesterday we put a culvert in, and then I got done with putting that culvert in, and I went and we're digging some drainage lines, or I guess it would be creek lines, down into the main system. Had a few trees that were in the way and whatnot, so we've been working on clearing out some trees. Probably it's gonna be pasture ground. They used to pasture it. It's just so wet because the water doesn't drain anywhere because all the ditches are filled in. I did do a test hole right there for where our grain bin's gonna go. Yeah, we gotta move some topsoil, but after that, I think we're gonna be in a good spot. But alrighty, previously, almost all of our water networks are in a good spot. This one was extremely filled up with sediment. Turns out there's one that goes from here right up the back side of this field. There's the mini, right around the back and goes up. And that is the one that actually takes all the water from out back where we got the tile lines running right. We put the culvert, everything else like that. So what is there? 50 some acres of tile lines running into that, and then whatever the swamp behind that goes into the neighboring property, that all comes down through there. So there's a lot of water that flows through there that doesn't go anywhere once it comes off this drop, and I'll show you exactly. But you can see, yeah, we cleaned some trees. But while cleaning some trees, I hooked the thumb with a branch, and I pulled this cylinder fitting out. So we got to go move trucks around anyways for next week. Some places got 4 inches of rain, so we're not spreading at all this weekend. We got plenty of things to keep busy. That is our other well. So I did mow down and around here, figuring some things out. So we got 220 that comes out of the barn, runs down along the edge here, supposedly out to here. John knows where it runs still, previous farmer here. Well, a while back farmer, but we used that well to load the sprayer, and that was extremely quick. I'm gonna rob power off of that probably to run my lights and minor little things out here, so we don't have to have the generator running for the minor things. But everything 3-phase is gonna be a big part. But let me show you what went on yesterday. Yeah, so we pulled out some trees that were overgrown, that are dead. I should shut this door now that the dogs are wet. They're gonna jump in there. Is that one of you guys? Or a bear? We do have bears out here. Not right here, but up in the fields. Larry sent me a picture of 3 cubs on his camera. So, I always thought roadway out through here. It's a little slimy right now. Roadway out through here, goes across, goes over to the neighboring property. Little pathway. That's what the previous people... Oh yeah, deer. So we pulled out some trees that were along this edge. This is actually the creek bed, well, the stream coming down from the network out back. It goes right down here, loops around, you can see the cattails, and goes over there. Problem is, I'll walk up to here. Somebody's gonna get all worked up about this. Every time we dig in there, they're like, you're tampering with the wetlands water. No, we are bringing back the proper terminology. I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. Proper terminology based on USDA is bringing existing waterways back to their original level, I guess. But as you see, we pulled out quite a bit underneath here. So somewhere in here, I tried to sort it out. There's tires and culvert pieces, because back in the day, they used to just throw stuff everywhere. But I'll start up here. Yesterday it was raining, so I didn't really get much footage for you guys. So it comes off that back and drops down, like I said, like 40 foot. Really? I just gave you fresh water in the house, but you gotta go stand in the puddles. So it drops off, comes down, drops into here. I was like, okay, we'll put a culvert in here, we'll get this dug. And all of a sudden I'm digging and I'm like, we're just digging sediment out. We got some shale right here, but I was digging sediment. So now I'm down to actually the base, which as you see is drastically lower. And we got puddle down there now, pond. So we're gonna end up putting a culvert probably in here to get across so that we can mow, maintain. They used to pasture a lot of animals out here. There's a man-made pond out here on the other side that comes off a creek or off a spring. So there's options. But we moved a lot of material out of here because I found the tires and stuff down in the bottom. So I'm sure somebody threw it in the creek at one point and it just filled up over time with sediment. And now it's back to the proper standard, which makes sense because in the spring, out through here, when water is running aggressively, there's water going everywhere. None of it makes any sense where it's coming from. Now it makes sense. This was all just backed up and it went any which way it could to get down to the next waterway. But as you see, big boulders and stuff like that. So we cleaned this up, left any trees that were actually good. But like I said, I had 2 trees left that I was pulling little bushes, and they're apple trees. So, but they're so saturated, they're junk now. That's what happens when water doesn't go where it's actually meant to go. I do see there's a culvert piece there that I must have missed. But it got too wet with all the rain to be digging. The bucket was sticking. So I just said, that's enough. And let me come over here. We cleaned up some trees. So like you can see, there's a piece of culvert that was pulled up. There's another piece of culvert that was pulled up. So this has to be dropped 4 feet to actually get back to the proper standard of where it's supposed to be. And that will make a big difference of it not just flooding everything out and making a mess out here. So, but we got piles of trees to let break down, dry out, and then burn. Like I said, once water is actually going to the proper places like we've done before, things are a lot better in the world. We could fence this in and actually graze it, right? Right now it's kind of a wasteland and pay taxes on it and everything else like that. But this is literally where the stream is supposed to be. And as you see, it looks normal. Larry came in here and he mowed around, went up through, mowed the pathways and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that once we get done because we got to put a culvert in to get across. Because this water just floods and saturates everything. But let me grab my tools and we'll go over to the mini and we'll get that apart. Nothing too crazy. As you see right here, the fitting that goes up in there, I watched a tree branch grab onto that and it just snapped it right off. So we'll have a guy weld it properly and get us back going and we'll be in a good spot. Got it disconnected, slid that pin out. This one's a little tighter. We're gonna have to get an actual hammer, tap on it, get it moving. Took the snap ring off to one side. I'm gonna have to take it off the other side, so I'll probably bring the snap ring pliers back, but we'll get a big hammer, tap on it. Went ahead and shut off the auxiliary, well, it's auxiliary or the thumb. So shut off the thumb. So we were able to get some hydraulic oil in it and get it out, so at least we're working over here. But we'll go ahead and get that tapped out. There it goes. All right, let's go get it fixed. So I know I'm 100% empty as far as the tank. We're all cleaned out. Just weighed in. We weigh 33,000 with this truck. Empty. Got our fuel. and we're off. So Leland and Dan's not sure if he's running with us Monday. He might be silage trucking. Leland's about the same. But I'm gonna get moved down. I'll get it right back up. My car is actually down at the farm because the dragline crew moved around, but we got it washed off. We're looking pretty good. I couldn't film outside because they're actually jamming music. I like this stop right here on 20. They can do, as you see, trailer washouts, everything. But big bay, and yeah, hot water hose, which is really nice. Not super hot, but pretty freaking good. So they do have drying towels and stuff like that. We're washed up some as far as the tractor. The trailer, people are always like, you gotta wash that. It blends in, and after the one load, it's dirty. So if we're not gonna run for a little while, we'll wash them down, but I'm going to the next job. Plus it's a stainless trailer, so it's not gonna rot out. A little scenic trip up through here. So this is Burn. I believe this is still Burn. Took the more scenic way because we got the truck washed. It's all pretty scenic, honestly, getting down through here. Oh, they got a duck out there. Rubber duck. I thought I saw the dump carts running on the hills back there, and sure enough, here's a loaded silage truck in front of me. I caught them coming up the hills. And they got, I believe, 4 inches of rain. And it's go time. That's the thing, everybody, when you have a lot of feed to go, you just got to get going, because they were shut down yesterday and feed quality is drastically dropping as time goes on. That's either it's wet and then you can wait, but people running, they're running because it's go time. They put corn into here, and we'll go get parked up. So they're big Mack fans. Red Tractors and Macks, but we're parked up. I'm gonna swing around and see exactly how much we got in town there, and I think we're just yeah, they got the Magnum on, boxcar Magnum. So we're parked up for next week. AJ and Mikey got moved yesterday morning. Like I said previously, there were some issues. Somebody ran into the tractors while they were moving. We'll see if we can get Jordan to give us a live, well, an update of it, since he was there. So this is a sawdust operation, no sand in here, but it does get very thick. So they are, I believe both tractors are running right now. Yeah, because it's stirring over there and it's stirring over here. So they're getting everything worked up over the next few days, so that it'll be a good day of pumping for us on Monday. Pretty full. 7250. I think it had a fresh motor build or something. I will say that is quite the view. So I take it, it would be, I think that's Massachusetts. Vermont would be over that way, the hills. But that is quite the view. But T9's here. The farm's frac tank is located here, and hose humper and cart is there. So, but nice dirt road. I think we're going further up, and as you see, it's a lot of downhill slope that they're going to drag line. So that should give them some benefits here. 2 million gallons, and yeah. I don't know if I can turn around up here. I really don't want to get stuck in the mud. I think it's going way up here. Somewhere along here there's a dump cart and a chopper and stuff like that. But I wanted to come up here and just see before we get here Monday and say, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Quite the hill to get up here, but a lot of land. Quite the view. I'm rather surprised that they're actually getting trucks in the field to even get chopped. I think they're chopping into trucks right there. Might be the dump cart. But alrighty, so dropped the cylinder off at the welder. Got the correct fitting for it from General Hydraulics. The welder said that he has done hundreds of these on Bobcats. due to the style of the fitting, and it's just brazed on there as far as this piece that goes in there. So we got it all done up. We'll put it back on the machine and keep working. Pin in there, line the hole up. Oh, yeah, there we go. Got 2 bolts on top. There we go. Or 2 nuts. Okay, now just pull the cylinder down to it. Put the pin through. We're going to put the snap ring and the washer on both sides. But otherwise, we are back good to put lines on. A little bit of an update. So we got it worked down to where it's supposed to be. We do have to pull the banks back some. Probably go along after and make them not so vertical. But we found tires and all sorts of other things that were down underneath. As you see, pieces of old culvert that were down on the bottom. But this has just been so overrun with sediment that it pretty much stopped right here. So it goes up and around the corner and then down, but that's probably enough progress for today. We're gonna go do some other stuff and we'll come back to digging tomorrow. Pretty boring, honestly, scooping all day long. Like, here's a piece of tire. There's another piece somewhere here. So not much to actually film, but as you see, my elevation right there is a little messed up. I think there's a rock there. But a whole lot better because it used to just overrun and go everywhere, and that's why a lot of this water, these waterways need to be worked and put back to their previous existing level so that water goes where it's supposed to. What's up, Zena? Where's your brother? Alrighty, we are hopefully back to daily content. We've done a bunch of manure hauling. I'm sitting down here. It is Saturday, right before 2 o'clock, trying to get this video out for you guys. We got a lot of things going on. I got all the low ground of my corn got frosted, so that makes me very nervous. I could have used another week or 2 of warm weather to wrap it up. Yeah, you'll see that in a future video. It's, yeah, it wasn't ready to get frosted yet, so it is what it is. But the manure truck stayed busy other than a breakdown one day for the next week. And I believe this week coming up, we got a whole bunch of stuff. Updates on some things will come moving forward as far as grain bins. Merchandise should all ship out from the vendor to us beginning of next week is the plan. And then I'll get it out to you guys. So I appreciate everybody who ordered merch. It is awesome seeing people rocking it and going into fall. But yeah, it has been a lot of 16, 17-hour days the last few weeks, and they're tiring. But I will be glad when things come together and we can get into harvest and stuff like that. So we'll probably get into beans in the near future. I'd like storage up first, but we got some scenarios that yeah, we'll talk about in the future video. But appreciate you guys. Got the Bobcat fixed, been digging, and yeah, that was self-inflicted on me. We got it too close to where it shouldn't be, and as I said, the welder pointed out that he's had a lot of those cylinders have that issue where they just break off at a little piece. So not the end of the world, but appreciate the gentleman, appreciate Eklund's for the Bobcat rental, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.